Morning, guys. Rick Shaw here. It's the 24th, Thursday of June, 21. Last night the girls were kind of busy. They moved all that over here and started to clear this space out because the couch is coming. We got this place from Mandawi Foam right here in Lipa, and they're gonna bring it today. It's a very unique couch bed. When it comes and it's set up, I'll show you how it works. I'll set up the tripod and show you, because it's really cool, very unique. They make them to order. We picked a coffee color, kind of matched the door over there, and dark because the kids, in case there's a stain or anything. But it's a really cool couch. I'm going to be really glad to have something nice to sit on. The only thing I didn't like about was the cushions were a little bit squishy. They just squish right up to nothing. So what we're going to plan to do is we'll cut the bottom out, have a zipper put in, and put a much firmer foam in there for the couch. So that'll be something we do down the road. They have people around here that'll do that, no problem. I want something a little more firm to lean against. Or we might add different ones, not sure. We can get the material from the company if we need to. We're also going back down to Mandawi Foam maybe this month for this big steel cabinet. It's almost a 2-meter high cabinet. And just a steel cabinet so I can put tools in the bottom. It has doors that go most of the way up, but the bottom has a separate door. I can put my ratchets and heavy stuff in there. And then I'll have all my stuff set on the shelf, and I can kind of clear that front out a little bit. And I believe it was lockable, so. But there's no big woo here about theft or anything. We got Coco's on the job now. He's just waiting to get started yet this morning. It's already 8:30, but Filipino time for when the rest of the people show up. So he's out with the kids walking around. And Mama and Faye, they're out. They've been out on a walk now for well over an hour. They're doing a really good walk this morning. I got mine done at 4, and then I came back in and just laid back down. Didn't get too sweaty because it was cool again this morning. We've got the fellow who did the screen doors is going to make us racks for the air conditioning units, which I doubt we'll very rarely use. We just don't seem to need them here. None of us need them. I mean, if we do get a real hot night, we can turn them on. But the fans right now, we're under the covers every night now. I actually had a sheet, and I told my wife it's too cold, so we got into the little blue things there, and we dug out a nice warm cover, and I'm sleeping a little bit better with that. I was getting so cold, I was popping up, and just, I was getting up a little bit later in the morning because I wasn't getting a fitful sleep. So it was just a little too cold for me. I like the heat. My wife isn't complaining at all. I mean, if we have company, we could fire those air conditioners up upstairs and let it pour down here and cool the whole house if we want to close it up. We'll be doing the screens here pretty soon. The dude said these windows are set up for the screens already, and he's the dude who does this kind of stuff, so I'm going to let him run with how he wants to do them. We do want to get an awning for the kids' bedroom, just to keep the sun out. That sun just blazes in that room all day, and if they go up in the daytime to take a nap or something, it's just a little bit. You're just right in the sun. Great place for a suntan. But we're going to do some kind of awning or louvered thing on the outside, just to keep that sun out a little bit. Sun's real high, so it doesn't have to stick out real far. So that's the way we're gonna do that. We saw some of them down at Wilcon Depot, and we have a credit there. We might go down and get that. My wife didn't see them. I just happened to notice them because they were kind of like in a little cubby on the side. We were looking at the big fold-out awning, and now we see these smaller ones, and they're pretty nice. So, but you can get them a lot of different places. The aluminum guy even said he could make something for us. So we'll see. He's given us a good price. The air conditioning racks are going to be right at $80 for both of them. So $40 for a custom-made rack. There's my beautiful baby. So I don't think that's bad. Some Filipinos might say it's a little bit pricey, but I don't. I think I told my wife, yeah, tell them we'll take it. Let's have them make it, and we'll get that done. That'll be another thing that'll be done. We're slowly getting her done. And what's going to happen is as those air conditioners move off the floor in the bedrooms, now I got another place for another dresser in the upstairs bedroom. Actually two. I'll have room for two. And then these will go because we'll be taking the stuff out of them. And those will just be storage for outside because they're rain tight. So that's the plan there. And they're on wheels. I like that they can be moved around easily. They're pretty stout. I don't think they'd last too long if they sat in the sun. I really want to get an awning up over this area here. It just needs to happen. Just absolutely needs to happen. There's just too much sun baking on that. I want that. And then I'd like to, on this side over here, we'll just put up some sort of a wall and maybe another door to walk out of the front door into there, and then put some curtains up or something to keep the sun out. It doesn't get too bad except afternoon. I'm thinking we'll see how it goes once the awning's up. We saw the neighbor guy had an awning built over there, and I was really amazed at how stout it was. He was afraid that it wasn't strong enough to hold the weight, and I'm like, you got to worry more about the wind blowing it up as windy as it gets here, and with typhoons and all that kind of stuff. And they really anchored it into the concrete. Now, I don't like how they chipped away big, huge chunks. It wasn't very neat, and when they put it back together, it's not finished very nice. I think I'd have been complaining on that, but he's good with it. I think I would just lag some anchor bolts in there, and then once you get ready to bolt it down, I'd put some silicone around the bolts, and then just crank it down like that with a piece that goes all the way across. I just didn't like the idea of them hacking away big. They do that a lot here. They hack away big pieces of concrete. Now, something else I saw here I thought was really cool. When you look at these guys across the road, when they do the footers here on the houses, and they did the same here, what the guy told me. I couldn't believe they dig very, very deep to put these footers in, and they're tied in with these big monstrous rebar things they make on the corners, and then they tie that in. I forget it. I saw that in Texas. I think they call it beam and something foundation. Pretty stout, I have to say. I'm thinking about this, and I was kind of bummed at Demeterland, but I'm looking at how this is being built, and I'm telling you what, I've seen some houses that weren't built like this, and a few years down the road I've been seeing cracks and stuff, and I'm looking at how these guys did it, and I'm thinking, that was you got to give them credit for that. They were at a house over here the other day. My wife was over there, and the bosses from down there, they were out there saying, hey, you guys got to dig this deeper, and this has got to be done, because I guess they didn't go deep enough and we're getting ready to pour. And no, take that out, fix it. So they were pretty much on the ball on that, coming out and checking it. There's a lot of houses starting to go up here, and I've noticed they're out here in a van more often now, and I'm glad to see it. One thing that happened, though, that was bummed about the pressure tank, they said if I hook that up, it'll void my warranty. And to me, that seems really odd, because if I kick the pressure up to 40 psi, do they think their plumbing is substandard and won't handle it? That's just my thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, but if the city kicks up the pressure, or the association here, then that's okay. I'm not getting why that if I put a pump in, I lose my warranty. It just seems really odd to me. So I'm worried whenever a pump goes in, is this going to fail? I'd like to see Demeterland come out here and put some pressure on it and show me what a good job they did, that there's no leaks in the wall or anything like that, because it just seems odd to me. They sell me a house, they sent me a text saying that they only build houses, it's not their problem, there's no water. no water pressure. And I'm not kidding you guys. If we turn on water down here, if the wife is washing or anything, there's nothing comes out of the faucets upstairs. Drips. I mean, I still, guys may think I'm complaining, and I guess I am, but I still think that is just wrong in a brand new house. It's just absolutely wrong. And they just keep saying, no, it's just the way it is. It's not our fault, blah, blah, blah. Well, it does say Demeterland Land Development Corporation. Come on, guys, where's the water pressure? This is something that I'm going to vlog on quite a bit. The dude, the project manager over here even stated to us, which I did catch on tape, I have a little teeny weeny camera this big. It's a little tiny thing. It's really cool. I have to take the SIM card out and put it in to show it. But he come right out and said, yeah, they knew when they came here that this particular spot here has very low water pressure, like the neighbors down there. It's like the pipe either got pinched. I talked to the engineer for the water here, and when you think about it, where the tank is, you would think the farther away there'd be more pressure because there's some more weight behind it, and it's down a little bit from the tank. So we'll see, but that's what he said. But when we get on our bicycles and we ride our bicycles, from here it's downhill. If I go down this street this way, I'm downhill, and if I go down this street that way, it's downhill. So that's what the guy said anyway. Farther away, there's more pressure. So okay, but we still don't have decent water pressure here. Demeterland is passing it off on the people that operate the water system here. So this is where we're at. They just we're getting tossed around like a ball here. It just doesn't seem like they built a house and looked into that. You think when they, being a land development corporation, they'd looked into it before they started building houses. And the thing that really gets me is if they keep putting more and more houses here, what's going to happen to the water pressure downstairs? Is it going to be like when we were in GMA where we only get water a couple hours a day? I mean, that's, to me, is just absolutely ridiculous. It happens here, though. When we lived in GMA, we had San Juan Jajeco, I think it was the name, water system, and we got about 2 hours of water a day. And it was all gravity fed, so there was no pressure. If we raised, we had no pressure in the sink at all. It was down low where it came in. And we would actually sell water to the neighbors because we were the lowest one on the system. And if we turned our water on, they didn't get any. It's just crazy how it works here. But I'm thinking that possibly is happening. So on the times that it is, I might have to put a big tank in here. And, to get the pressure. I wished I'd have known all this before. I'd have them put a flat roof up on the second so we could put the tank up there. A big tank, maybe one or two, and that way we could pump it up to that and just use the gravity to feed it if the power goes out. But this is where we're at. Demeterland Land Development Corporation doesn't let you know all the stuff that you can get. Maybe because I'm a foreigner, I don't know. But my neighbor down the street said he didn't know he could get cabinets like this. Our extra cabinets we put in. He didn't know any of that stuff. So apparently they didn't tell him either. So it's just a shame that there's the communication from that company is just not there. The guys who own this, the board, it's a corporation. I hope you guys watch these videos and get with your people so it doesn't keep happening down the road. As for me, if I was ever going to build another house, or any of my friends asked me, would you use those guys again? I would say absolutely not. I wouldn't have anything to do with them. Just because the people in the office, I don't know the board. Some of these guys I know here, they're great people. Love them to death. But the people I dealt with in the office, just so many things they just didn't get right. Like upstairs, I asked them to put a plug for the TV, like this one, up. And there was already a plug down on the bottom. Well, the guy decided just all on his own to move the bottom one up too. What the hell is that? I wanted the one on the floor. I didn't ask them to move that. Same with this one here. They did the same thing with this plug. Why is the second plug way up? I didn't ask for that. Just so many. It's just was a constant battle, and it wasn't because of English, because my wife told them too in Tagalog. So it wasn't a thing that there was something wrong with the English. But this may not be just this company. I don't know, because I've only dealt with this one. So that's the way she goes. But a lot of things are pretty cool. We did talk to the project manager about the doors in the bathrooms. I've been into a couple houses here, and it's the same. They put the doors right on the floor so the water absorbs into the door. So, I said, maybe you ought to cut that up a little bit. Make the door just a little bit shorter. And my wife told him that in Tagalog because his English is not good, and I believe he's going to take that up with them, which is a good thing, because it's going to be a problem down the road. That door would have rotted out. Now, we sealed it back up, but it's off the floor this much now, so a couple inches. So we're good with that. The upstairs bathroom door, it's pretty close to the floor, but that floor doesn't get soaked like this one does, especially when this one had the drainage problem. So, but I won't go on any more about that. We're just having a beautiful day. There's my little handsome buddy there. He was out walking with his Uncle Coco. He's going to be starting the day. And we're late today. We're really late on our breakfast this morning. I didn't feel like cooking anything, and my wife said when she gets back she'll cook. So we're going to have a nice breakfast, and I will show you the couch when it gets up. And it looks like next week we'll be having to move all this stuff out because the table and chairs will be coming. It's kind of a unique thing we did with those two, with the bench in the back and no back chairs. The reason why it's going to be there, the reason why I didn't have backs on the chairs, they're more like stools, was because we can't shove them up underneath. We're limited with space. We want to put like a hutch there, and we're still looking for it. We saw one that Tropical Tim had that we really liked. We were like, instead of it coming out this way, it'll be flat against the wall, and it could be a place for the coffee machine, the toaster, and all that. And we really liked it, and we went to the, I call it Solid Gold, it's Pure Gold. They didn't have it. Then across the street they had another store, and we stopped at different ones. We can't seem to find that one. We can find the one like his microwave table, but not the hutch one. Well, then my wife found it on Shopee, and same price, a little over $100. And I think we're going to just go ahead when we can and get it ordered. After the table's in, when we see how much room we got, we're going to order it, because that's where I'd like the dishes to go. That'll get rid of a lot of the racks, and a lot of that stuff will go in the top part of the cabinet, so that we can clear this up a little bit. We're in a tiny house. We know that, and we're trying to get it neat and in order. The kids are starting to really come on board with putting things back when they're done with it, instead of like when we were at the other house, it went here, there, you couldn't find anything. So now they're starting to put things where it is. My wife too. I'd like this place to be in order. I don't want it to be a mess, where we're constantly looking for stuff because somebody put it here or there. I've always been the type of person. I remember when I had my gun shop. Hey, handsome.
Hello.
When I had my gun shop, if my wife would walk in there and a tool that I left on the bench somewhere, if she moved it 10 inches, I couldn't find it because it wasn't where I put it. I can't. It's just the way it was. And I had a pretty good shop. I finally got to the point because I couldn't keep her out, that okay, fine, I just locked it up. Stay out of there. I actually had one time where I had some guns.
I'll give them to you, Jesse.
Okay, I had some guns in a gun case. Beautiful guns that I had them special in a case so they wouldn't get scratched or ruined. One was a Winchester shotgun, the one that when you pull the trigger, it actually pulls the pump back a little bit so that you get a second shot off faster. And the other one was a custom 300 that I built with a beautiful shepherd scope on it. It had all the goodies on it, the custom stock, the whole bit. And she went in there and washed it down with water soap and water, washed the guns real good, washed all the oil off, and then put them back, never said a word. And then to my horror, maybe a year later, I went to get them out, and they were completely corroded and ruined. Actually pitted through the metal on the shotgun because of the good detergent that was used, I guess. And it just stayed in there in a sweat box because when she put it back, it was wet and the foam got wet. And these are things that just, they're only items that'll rust anyway. It did teach me that, people are more valuable than things, that's for sure. And it just showed me that things rust away, things of this earth. So, I just couldn't get really mad about that. I just sat back and said, well, that's how she goes. That's the things of this world. Guys, it's all going to rust away. It's all going to be gone before you know it. So don't forget to pray to the good Lord above and thank Him for every breath you get. And look at the things that are most important. It's the people you meet, and that's just what's the most important thing. It's your children, it's your people. But just remember, above all, the most important is your Creator. I always think of that in the Bible when the dude finally had his favorite son. And the good Lord said, you need to sacrifice him. And he willingly just did it because he loved the Lord more than the things of this earth. That always blows me away out of the stories in the Bible, because could I do that? And it just shows how weak my faith is, I guess. But don't forget to pray for each other. Pray for yourselves. Pray for all of us. Pray for our leaders. And this battle that's being fought right now is not among men. They're just minions. It's a spiritual warfare that's going on right now, and don't forget that. This is Rick Shaw out.